In the very back seat of the number 12 bus, only Jeremy's eyes were moving as he scanned the shadows outside, his forehead pressed up against the glass. He had missed his stop. It was 1:30 in the morning, and when the bus had approached his street, he had imagined lifting his arm up to pull the cord. He had imagined himself walking up the stairs to his crappy little apartment. He had imagined himself flop into his grubby, sunken couch and pull his tiny TV close enough to watch. But he hadn't pulled the cord. He was motionless, with a tiny spark of excitement and a tiny spark of nausea circling like flies in his stomach. The park 10 minutes ahead, on the number 12 line, is where he used to score. He could feel it getting closer, though he couldn't see it. He had no intention of getting off the bus at the park. He just wanted to drift by and catch a glimpse. He was shaken out of his trance when his cell phone went off. He recognized the ringtone right away. HS. Jeremy always responded when the HS alert went off. He didn't want to miss out on an easy $10 which his counselor would give him for each week he didn't miss a response. HS was an app on his phone that his counselor, Brenda, had set up for him during his last week of inpatient treatment. Brenda had tailored HS to Jeremy's specific needs by asking him a series of questions about where and when he used to use and what his triggers were. HS knew that Jeremy was a night owl, and oftentimes the application would check in with him at night to see how he was doing, and sometimes suggest he listen to some guided relaxation, or maybe suggest a meeting for him to attend the next day, if he hadn't been to one in a while. Jeremy had already received a check-in from HS at 11, but now his phone was vibrating because the system had detected that he was near one of his high-risk locations. After Jeremy answered a few brief questions about how he was feeling, HS presented Jeremy with some suggestions based on his answers. The system had determined that it was important that Jeremy have a video call with an on-call counselor right away. Jeremy didn't think that was necessary. But when he tapped on the ignore button, HS played a video of himself talking about his life prior to treatment. Jeremy sat back in his seat and thought about it for a minute. I cannot afford to be that guy again, he thought. He reconsidered and tapped on connect. Jeremy looked around. The bus had passed the park, and he was heading back west. I'm the only one in here, he thought. This shouldn't be so bad. He sat up a little straighter and positioned the phone in front of him. Within a minute, he was talking face to face with his counselor, Brenda.